everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Latasha Alana. Today I'm going to talk about a hot topic. Question that I get asked all the time. Why did you leave New York? So I'm going to be sharing the reasons why I left the Big Apple, the concrete jungle. A lot of people always want to know, how could you leave such a big, popular city? I'm going to share the reasons why I left. There are plenty. Okay, and a lot of you probably can relate and probably agree with me. So if you're interested in what I'm about to share, if you're planning or thinking about moving to New York, or maybe you're thinking about moving out, then you might want to stay tuned, all right? So there are a plethora of reasons why I left New York, okay? So I'm gonna get right into it. The cost of living, the quality of life, it's just too much. It's too much. And I'm gonna go into detail about these things. And I'm gonna break it down and y'all are gonna really understand why it's just too much. The hustle and bustle is very hectic. It's a lot going on 24/7. And when you reach a certain point in your life, sometimes you just don't want to deal with that every single day, year after year. The school system is not the greatest. There's a lot of high crime. New York is very smelly, it's dirty. There's homelessness is big out there. And the trains are just so overcrowded, and there's always some type of malfunction going on in the subway. The MTA, I'm sorry, but they suck. Like, if y'all on Twitter, people are always going in commenting on MTA and how this line sucks or something's going wrong with this line. Twitter's where it's at, where you want to find out information about MTA, okay? And so it's so crowded. Like, you get on the train, people are angry, they're grumpy, they got attitudes, people are playing their music loud. I hate when people get on the train and play their music and don't have their headphones on. How inconsiderate are you? Oh my God. Or people who put their bags on the seat like if they paid for a fare for their bags. No, get up, move your bag so I can sit down because I'm tired. I just got off work. I did an 8-hour shift. I was standing up all day. I want to sit down too. Okay? Or men who have their legs wide open, and so you can't really sit in a seat. It's a lot every single day. It's a lot going on. Oh yeah, and don't forget the rats and the roaches in the apartment buildings and the mice. And why would you want to live in that? It's filthy. And so after a while, you start to sit back and you're like, do I want to live like this for the rest of my life? So when you start to venture out, you travel, you visit other cities, you're like, man, I could have more. And it's cheaper. Oh, to God be the glory. Oh my God, there is better out there. And so that's why I was like, you know, I can't do this lifestyle anymore. Lifestyle in New York is not a joke. The hustle and bustle, the daily commute, it is very draining and taxing on your body physically and mentally. It's just too much. And sometimes you just gotta sit and analyze things and be true to yourself and be like, you know, I don't know if this is the way I want to live my life forever, you know. And so I really started to ponder these things. I was feeling unhappy. And I mentioned a few of these things in my last video, but just this mediocre, average life. And I didn't want to deal with that forever, okay? So you just kind of feel stagnant. And New York is just, being that it's so overcrowded, so overpopulated, so much competition that you can't really get ahead. There are a lot of people who make good money. However, they don't see it because a lot of their money is going towards rent, groceries, school, other utilities, and it's just, you don't really have that opportunity to really enjoy what you're working for. another thing, like I was saying, the quality of life. You work, work, work. Where's Rihanna? Oh, work, 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 work. But it's not that lovely, okay? It's hard work. And it's like New York makes everything so hard. Getting to work is hard. Coming home is hard. Going to work and being at work is hard. Depending on what field you work in, especially if you work in customer service in New York, man, oh man. The lack of common sense you start to realize that people don't have is amazing. Oh man. So I was in New York, I worked in hospitality. I worked at very nice high-end restaurants or upscale restaurants. My last job was at a restaurant in a hotel. And so it was just like, man, people they feel so entitled all the daggone time. And it's just very amazing, like the things that they demand, the things that are so far out, like, why would you even ask a question like that? Sometimes, if y'all heard the commentary in my head, y'all be like, yo, this girl could not be a Christian. Yeah, being at work is draining. And then you have, management that is either disorganized or they're on their power trips and all sorts of things going on at work, drama. And it's like, I have a 4-year degree, a bachelor's degree, and I am not able to get the high paying job or at least a decent paying job. And I have a degree. I've graduated out of college and I started working at Barnes and Nobles, and I think I was making like $9 an hour. Now, when you just get out of college, you don't really make a lot of money. So you just find other routes. But I didn't expect that I was going to be in that space for so long. So I'm like 13, 14 years out of college and I have not started a career. So, I took things upon myself and said, you know what? You're creative. You love video production. Do it. Now, New York has a lot of great resources, a lot of free programs, and I definitely take advantage of those things. And so thank God for Brick Arts Media. It used to be called BCAT, Brooklyn Community Access Television, where I was able to continue what I learned in college and start to do hands-on work. And so that's why, video production is my thing, because I fell in love with it in senior year of college, And so I enjoy doing it. But now we live in this digital world, YouTube world, where people and entrepreneurship is a big thing. People are taking matters into their own hands and not waiting on a job to call us back for an interview and give us that job that we've always dreamed of. If you do find your dream job in New York, you're not going to see your paycheck. You're not going to get to enjoy it because you're always at work. By the time the weekend comes, you're exhausted. You got all these chores. You don't have time to socialize, okay? And oh gosh, the laundry. I am so glad I don't have to worry about going to the laundromat, especially in the wintertime. When it snows and you have to push a shopping cart in the snow to the laundry, in the cold, slush on the ground, you're stepping in puddles, you don't know how steep they are. I'm so glad that I don't have to worry about going to a laundromat anymore, because I have my laundry in my apartment. Like, I have my washer and dryer in my apartment, in my unit. Praise the Lord. That's a perk. Coming from New York, that is a perk, okay? No more laundromat. Let's go back to the trains. The daily commute is so draining. And let's say you woke up in a good mood. You was playing your worship music. You was playing whatever type of music or motivational video to get you pumped up for the day. The minute you get on the train or on the subway, it's a wrap. Your good vibes start to go down. It goes down, because it is so much activity going on the trains being so crowded, and then the train delays or train traffic ahead of us or a sick passenger, all these different announcements they give us each and every day. There's never a dull moment on the subway. And so by the time you get to work, you're tired, you're exhausted, you don't want to work, you ready to go back home, okay? So there's just this constant burnout that comes along with living in New York. You're burnt out and it's exhausting. Who wants to live like that, okay? I really had a lot of anxiety. Like, New York can make you anxious, you know, because you're trying to get to work on time, and then when you do get to work, you're worried about what the managers are going to say, and you know, if they're going to write you up, or all sorts of craziness. And then you don't make enough money, so you're worrying about bills, and you're worrying about how you're going to, you know, make ends meet and buy groceries and buy food and buy this. So you're always worrying about money. And so it keeps you in this poverty mindset, and then you become scared when you do get money. You become kind of scared to spend it because you're not used to having. So I was like, nah, this is too much. Can't do it no more. Another thing is that because I'm always worrying, is that it's affecting my creative juices. And you would think it's like a catch-22 in New York. Being that New York is such a vibrant city, you could get a lot of inspiration from it. It's because you're so overwhelmed with a whole bunch of other things, your creative juices, the creative flow kind of gets blocked. And for a very long time, I would not edit. I would not pick up the camera and shoot because I was not motivated. I didn't have no drive. I didn't have no inspiration. It would go in spurts. And the spurts would come and go, but most of the time, I wouldn't do a thing. There's so much going on. My creative juices just got sucked away from me, and I didn't like that. And other people noticed it. I remember one of my photography friends, her boyfriend was like, you know, I see that, you know, you could be doing a lot more. I feel like there's more out of you, but you just not showing us. Like you kind of in your shell. And I'm like, yeah, you kind of right. It's just, I don't be feeling like, you know, and even if I try to like force myself to, I just can't think clearly to put videos together and, you know, post stuff on, you know, social media. I'm just not there. I'm just worried about the day-to-day stuff, that rat race, that cycle. Everything's expensive in New York, you know, groceries, like the food cost is going up, and then the quality of the food sucks. There's a lot of GMO food that they, you know, bring to New York, and you got to be very careful about that. Clothing, nobody has time to shop. And if you do have time, you don't have enough money to shop. So all of the things that people see on TV, being in Times Square, hailing yellow taxi cabs and just hopping in, going to the club, going to coffee shops and having meetings. And no, that is not New York every single day. Okay, don't let the movies or some YouTubers fool you into thinking that that's the New York life. We're gonna go to this brand event and we're gonna go to like New York Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week parties. Listen, that lifestyle is not every day, okay? I'm gonna do a vlog and show y'all the real of the daily, day-to-day of New York, okay? And y'all gonna see. It is not what you think. Don't believe the hype. I feel New York is overrated, and a lot of people are starting to see that New York is very overrated, okay? And I'm giving you the real. For those people who say, oh no, New York has everything. New York has convenience. Yes, there's stores and things that you can go to in less than 5 minutes. You could walk to them. You don't got to worry about hopping in no car. But at the same time, you got to get out there and endure the harsh weather, okay? New York's winters are not a game, all right? And that's another reason why people walk around grumpy and sad, because they're cold, you know? They're trying to get into a warm environment. Then when daylight savings time and you got to turn those clocks back and the sun starts going down around 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and then by the time 4 o'clock come, you get off of work, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it is dark. And you're like, man, what to do now? You're so depressed. It's cold outside. It's dark. You don't make enough money. And it's just like, what to do. Now I got to figure out what to eat, but I don't have enough money to buy what I really want. So I got to stick with ramen noodles or make spaghetti, some sort of quick pasta dish. And plus, you got to do something quick because you're so tired. And it's every day, year after year. And I'm like, I can't live like this forever. A lot of people who are moving to New York, the rent is so daggone high, and you are renting these little small spaces. You're not as fortunate as native New Yorkers who's been in New York for a long time, and they've got apartments back in the day, large apartments, especially in Brooklyn and the Bronx. I don't know about Queens, but you get these big apartments and your rent is steady. It's like, you know, it goes up, but not too much. These new apartments, or the minute like somebody moves out of an old building and then they start to fix it up and put all these new appliances, those rent prices skyrocket to in the 2000s, 3000s. And don't try to move into no new building. You know, so I didn't grow up with this roommate mentality. I grew up, you know, when you get older, you have a family, you have your own house, you know, but now the roommate thing is a normal thing in New York. You come to New York, oh, let me find a roommate because people can't afford the rent. I don't want to live like that. I don't want nobody living with some weird random person and I'm just meeting living with me, or I gotta go find a roommate. No, I want my own place, my own space with my family, okay? And so the whole roommate thing in New York, like when I was growing up, the only time you heard about roommates was in college. Like college dorms, you have a roommate. And then over time, people started having roommates in their regular adult life. Like, no, I want a family. I don't want to be living with random people. And I just want to be free, okay? And so the quality of living is definitely it's not cool. I'm sorry. So overall, those are the reasons why I left. There's probably more I'm probably forgetting, but yeah, that's like a big bulk of it. And that's why I wanted to move. I just didn't want that type of lifestyle forever. And like I was saying, yes, New York, you know, is convenient and you have access to a lot of things, but there's so much things that are in other states that New York doesn't have. And then when you tell die-hard New Yorkers that, they're like, no, that can't be. Like, New York has everything. New York does not have everything. Don't let these people fool you. New York does not have everything. There are certain restaurants in Texas that I have never heard of in New York that they have out here, or like different type of entertainment places out here, not in New York. Different shopping stores, not in New York. So please do not think New York has everything, because it doesn't. New York has different things that is unique to New York, but it doesn't have everything. So please do not believe the hype. Do not be fooled. Prices are skyrocketing. If you want to have a good quality of life, I highly do not recommend moving to New York, because you're going to feel it mentally. You're going to feel it physically, okay? So take it from a native New Yorker, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, lived there for 33 years, and I had to escape feeling like I was in prison for the rest of my life. Nope, not me. I am out, and moving to Texas is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So that's it. I'm not saying nothing else. Fight me. Whoever want to challenge me, fight me. You want to fight me in the comments? Fight me. Like, I dare somebody say something. Just kidding. Okay. But if you do have comments that you want to share, you know, your experiences, like if you just moved to New York and you just like, you agree with what I'm saying, share it in the comments. If you're a native New Yorker and you want to get out, share it in the comments. If you want to know what it's like living in Texas, look at some of my old videos. I'm going to be putting out more videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you. I'm going to be rolling out more videos. Follow me on Instagram at Latasha Lana. Check out my blog, faithfitmom.blog. And stay tuned to next week for a new video. All right, bye.